Hello everyone, today we are going to be discussing the new utility blocks which were added in the 1.14 update for Java Minecraft. These new technical blocks did feel a bit jarring to me when they were initially added, and I didn't really keep up with the update, so I wasn't sure what they all did. So I will be providing a brief, simple overview as to what their purposes all are. The first of these blocks is the loom. The loom is crafted simply with 2 planks of any kind and 2 string. The purpose of this block is to recolor any banners that you put into it without using the traditional crafting recipes. Here I've got some materials which we can use to demonstrate that. So, all you need to do is stick in a banner, stick in a piece of dye, and then it will give you the options for that which you want to craft. So if I want to put a set of stripes on it, it will consume 1 red dye, and then it will put these stripes onto that banner. And I can put it up, you can see, just like that. As well, you can use these banner patterns, which are crafted with all of these following items. The banner pattern for the globe can only be obtained through villager trading, so there's no way you can craft that. The way that these are used is you put the banner in there, you put the banner pattern in as well, followed up with some dye, then you can see you can get the symbols of whatever it is. This one is the Mojang pattern, you've got the Oxa Daisy, the Wither Skull, and the Creeper Skull, and then you can put that on, and does it as usual. It can also be used to layer different patterns on top of each other. So you can put in a banner, put in a piece of dye, maybe a purple stripe, and throw in a black cross, like so. And that works all like that. The next block is the barrel, which is a very simple item that is crafted with 6 planks and 2 plank slabs of any type. If we look in its inventory, it fits the same amount as a standard chest does, but the advantage to it is that if you put a block on top, then it can still be opened unlike a chest. It cannot be stacked, it cannot be doubled up like a double chest, that's a disadvantage there, but it's a pretty nice aesthetic block, and it can be placed depending on where you are in relation to where it is being placed. So if you're standing on top, it places like that. And yeah, it doubles as a very pretty block in addition to being functional. Next up are the furnace-related items, one of which is the smoker. As you can see, simply crafted with a furnace and 4 oak logs, or any other type of log. It essentially acts as a specialized furnace which cooks food-related items. Here you can see the 8 types of items that it cooks. You can pause the video and have a look, but essentially this works at double speed, and it also consumes fuel at twice the rate. So you can see I've got these droppers filled up with items. We can hit the button, and both of these will start cooking. See, it's working much slower, and that one is finished cooking much faster than the furnace, which, as you can see, is taking much longer. Yeah, there it goes. So it can't smelt all the same things that the furnace can, but it can be very practical in some situations. The second specialized furnace, the blast furnace, is very similar to the smoker, albeit much harder to craft. You can see 5 iron ingots, a furnace, and 3 smooth stone. It is also specialized to only being able to smelt specific things, which you can see is all the various ores, but it also has the capability to melt down armor and tools that are made of chainmail, gold, or iron into nuggets of their respective metal type. Chain will become iron. This can also be done to tools of any durability, so it is quite effective in getting the biggest bang for your buck out of resources. As you can see, it is also very fast. This one is finished much more fast than the standard furnace, so it is good for smelting all your ores. The next block is the Cartographers Table, which is a much more niche item. As you can see, it's crafted with 4 planks of any kind and 2 pieces of paper. You can have a look, it's mostly to do with maps. So let's have one map open here, we can see what it looks like. If we throw it in there and put in another empty map, we can make a copy of it. If we throw one map in there, throw in some paper, you can expand the map size. So we can open it up again, and we can see it's more zoomed in. If you throw this in here, and then you put a glass pane in, it locks the map, which means that if you go walking around this area, all that covered area will not come uncovered. This is very useful for creating maps that would be in public places that you do not want to have modified. Next is the Stonecutter, which is simply crafted with 3 pieces of smooth stone and an iron ingot. The purpose of this block is that you put a uncarved piece of stone here, and it can give you different options for what you can do with it in this menu. So these are all the types of materials that it can modify. You can pause the video and have a look here, but we can look at the andesite just for an example. Before, you could just turn this into polished andesite, but now you can see you've got many different options for what you can turn it into, such as stairs. An important thing to note is that it got stairs at a 1-to-1 ratio, which is not something that could have happened in previous Minecraft, where it would have taken 6 of any block to make a stair. So this actually does make some recipes even cheaper than they were before. Next up is the grindstone, which is simply crafted with 2 planks of any kind, 2 sticks, and a stone slab. The purpose of this block is to combine tools together. So you can see here we have one tool that is named and the other tool is enchanted. If we throw them in here, we can see that the tool remains unenchanted, but it does keep its name if this item is in the first slot. We can see if we swap it around, the enchantment disappears and the name does. So if you are combining together 2 enchanted items, you want to make sure that you keep the named one in the first slot in order to keep that value. The next two are the smithing table and the fletching table. They are very strange because as of right now, they do not serve any purpose in the game. They are crafted as follows, one with 4 wood planks and 2 iron, and the other with 4 wood planks and 2 flint. At the moment, they just sort of exist as visual blocks. They do have some purposes otherwise, but those are more technical, and I will be mentioning them briefly at the end of this video. The final block of note is the composter, which is simply crafted with 3 wooden planks and 4 fence posts. So, essentially the purpose of this one is that you put any sort of matter into it, any sort of plant or food matter into it, and there's a chance for it to create a layer of compost. Something like grass that is very common, you can see is not creating layers that often. Every time I hit that, it's a piece of compost that's being put in. But a harder to get piece of material like pumpkin pie gives much more frequent layers, and as you can see, it's the same amount of layers every time. It's just not always the same chance to create a layer of compost. And every time it fills up, it takes a second, and then it makes it into a piece of bone meal. So that is how each of these little machines works. Obviously, they have very clear purposes initially, but there are some things you can probably do with them that are incredibly useful. One of the more subtle features of these is that if they are placed in villages where not all professions have already been taken up, many villagers will adopt this profession, such as if there's a barrel placed, then some villagers might become fishermen, or if there's a composter, some might become farmers. But that's all much more technical and not important if you're just trying to get an idea of what to do with these items. So, I would like to thank everyone for watching, and if you're interested in more content like this, I would like you to see you subscribed. Thank you, I'll talk to you guys later.